This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you're updated each time fresh content comes out. And thank you for being part of the Zach Ratliff Show. The Zach Ratliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Texas, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org.
Hello and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach. This is my friend Steve.
I'm Steve. This is my friend Zach.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Zach.
All right, welcome to the show, man. Thank God for another day. Thank you for being here on a Monday.
Right? It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. We've got
Instead of telling you what we did, we'll tell you what we're going to do.
What's coming. And I've got a lot of articles I want to pick up on from the weekend. I'm going to have to adjust looking at you.
It's weird.
Yeah, this is different.
We could look at each other like this. Yeah. No, turn your head and look at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And a little side eye.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's just jump into some of these articles. And then there's one article that I want to talk about.
The studio faces a parking lot, and people walk by all the time. If people are wondering, why do we
keep looking? Yeah, we're watching the world go by.
Making sure there's no terrorists.
All right, I think this is, yeah, right. I think this is a sign for what's going on in the world that our mainstream doesn't want us to know yet.
Which one? There's like several.
Yeah, well, here we go. This is from Inevitable West on X.com. Breaking. Thousands of Chileans flood the streets to celebrate the win of a pro-Trump populist. Chile has defeated communism today.
Well, that's racist.
Yeah, right. And it's good.
That's pretty cool. When was that? Friday?
Yeah,
today.
Well, this was over the weekend.
Sunday? They vote on Saturdays and Sundays?
I think so. The article was from yesterday.
Cool.
So people are turning away from communism right now. It's our elite, our media, our ruling class that's trying to push us into it.
And I think we can't say it often enough. You could have communism right now if you wanted it. Get everybody that thinks communism is cool, get them all to get together, pool their money, pool their resources, pool their assets, start their own little community where everybody shares everything equally. People work who can work. The people who want to write poetry. You could share everything. You can own the means of production and sharing the outcomes, and no one ever does it.
Right.
Because it's never worked.
No,
they could do it. They want us to do it. They don't want to do it themselves.
No,
because they all figure they'll be one of the ones that's sitting over here and saying, "Oh, you need to go hoe the garden today," and not do the work themselves.
Well, here's what amazes me.
Ask everybody that wants a worker's paradise: do you want to work? Yeah. Do you want to work in a factory? Do you want to go out there and hoe the garden? Do you want to go out and pull corn? They don't. No. I'm the poet, is what they'll say.
Yeah, I'm the poet. I'm the thinker. And let me tell you about
I'm
those
the futurist.
Those people that aren't the workers, they're the first ones that the communists kill.
They are.
I mean, you're of no value because you have no production.
Right.
We're not going to allow you just to sit around and think. We're not going to allow you to, unless you're like a scientist and you can develop generally weapons or something of that sort. Other than that, you've got the ruling class, which is the strong man.
You got the workers. This is a pyramid.
Yeah.
A pyramid. You've got the ruling class, you've got the workers, and you've got the mass graves.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't understand, especially like on university campuses and all that, why they're always for it. I'm like, you're the ones they kill first. All of us workers with guns and whatnot.
Wasn't it Cambodia where they went through and killed everybody that wore glasses?
Yeah.
Obviously, you think too much.
I'd be in trouble. Of course, I heard they were doing that.
Take them off.
A real Superman type moment. You just
I didn't
don't
recognize you.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's an amazing thing, really. All right. So anyway, it's good to see that happening Oh, I could have used the button. I forgot. It's good to see that happening around the world.
What's the button for?
Say something.
I'm not to say.
I beeped you.
Did you?
Yeah. Now it sounds like you said a swear word. He did not.
Maybe I did.
All right. So then here's this, and I'm interested to see what trend this. I've noticed in articles that I use for this show, Steve, that it'll pick up a trend throughout the show, and so let's see where this goes.
We chase similar rabbits
Yeah, that's exactly right.
throughout the show.
So this is from C3 at C_3 on X.com. One of 2 Brown University victims over the weekend was Ella Cook. Ella Cook is the vice president of the Brown Republicans. Okay?
I saw that.
Now, 78% of students at Brown identify as liberal. 13% identify as indie. So I'm guessing
How many? What percent?
13%.
Okay.
6% identify as GOP, the Grand Old Party.
Right.
Brown faculty, 99%.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
You should do that more often.
Yeah. 99% identify as Democrat. 1% identify as GOP. Out of 2 victims on the entire Brown campus, one of them was a leading GOP voice on campus.
So the right insists that guns are for hunting and self-defense.
Yes.
Because that's how we use them.
Right.
The left insists that guns are for murder because that's how they use them.
Man, what a way to put that.
Well, it's not original, but
It's
I
accurate.
remembered it correctly. I used it in a proper context.
Yeah. Well, and that's always key. My friend's got a really good joke about not one-upping people, and but I can't ever remember it because I don't have the timing down. But it's amazing, and it's like one of my favorite things to say. But I always have to refer to him to say it because I can't. I have pretty good comedic timing, but just on that one, it does not stick.
You can't remember it.
Nope. So anyway, coincidence? Maybe.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Then here's this from J.D. Vance on Fox News. Then Eric Doherty has this this post. Eric Doherty says, every conservative must hear this from J.D. Vance. Then, quote, J.D. Vance, quote, I want every conservative to remember this. It is an important part of my political philosophy. We cannot be afraid to do something because the left might do it in the future. The left is already going to do it regardless of whether we do it.
What's that in context with? I mean,
Ending the filibuster,
Yeah.
All of these things. Because, the Republicans are just such cowards.
they are. They are.
Oh, we don't want to do this because we don't want the Democrats. The Democrats have already said if they get control again, they're going to impeach Trump again.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do everything they can to stack the courts. They're going to minimize anything we like.
Right.
Why don't we believe them?
They've been saying it forever. They've been trying to do it forever. In Trump's case, they did it as much as they possibly could. So why don't we believe them? That's a really good question. There's a race right now down in the county chair race in Rusk County, where Henderson, Texas is.
Okay.
So there's a Henderson County in Rusk. Wait, Henderson County. I'm not sure where that is. There's also Rusk County with a Henderson in it. And I think there's a town named Rusk. It's really confusing.
Yeah,
Apparently those people were important. Anyway,
Yeah.
Henderson, Texas, our friend Rachel Hale is down there. She's county chair.
Okay.
And she's facing opposition. So here's the thing. When she became county chair a year and a half ago, we're not sure. I'd heard rumors that the previous county chair didn't even live in the county.
Oh.
He stepped down. It was time to have a meeting. He stepped down, and so they had a quarterly meeting. When they had the meeting, they didn't have a county chair, so they appointed Rachel interim county chair, or county chair pro tem, I think.
Okay.
And then she presided over the election, where she was the only nominee to be the county chair, and she was elected unanimously. And she took it from just a small handful of people to, I think, 2 or 3 dozen people now that are precinct chairs, part of the county executive committee. She's taken it from a small, ineffectual ineffectual makes it sound like sometimes they were effectual. I don't think they ever were.
Right.
Except for selecting how we're going to do a primary, things like that.
So maybe unknown or
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do
non-existent.
anything. It was feckless, if
Yeah,
you want
there
to look
we
that
go.
up. So it was a small feckless party or county party, and she turned it into something vibrant and strong and active
Right.
and influential, and people want to run against her. So
Right.
what about strong, effective, and influential do you want to change? Barack Obama literally said, "This is the greatest country on the face of the earth, and I want to change it."
Yeah.
Well, we know what he meant.
We
but,
have to give
but
the
if-
Democrats credit because they tell us exactly who they are and exactly what they want to do.
there's too many elected Republicans in Texas who are really Democrats, but they want to be in charge.
Oh,
And so
absolutely.
they've learned how to say the phrases.
Yeah.
A lot of them, a lot of them go to church because it looks good. Maybe it'll stick.
Yeah,
That'd
you
be
hope
great.
so.
But there are far too many Democrats that have an R after their last name.
Right.
And some of that, never mind. I won't go into that because it starts irritating local people. So leave that alone. But
You go where you want
I'm
to.
sure it's everywhere because there was a great number of Democrats in the early part of the teens, like 2012, 2014, who switched to Republican.
As the political winds blew
Yes,
to the right.
yes. Barack Obama
Winds of the
took it
east.
way to the left.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, you know what? I can't say I'm a Democrat anymore. I've got to do something about that.
Right.
And locally, James Prince was like, everybody ran as a Democrat. I'm not going to change. It sounds horrible. Well, he
Right.
finally did change because it got so obvious that the party that he grew up in,
Yeah.
and he was our sheriff for 24 years, I think.
Right.
Is that right? A long time. He was our sheriff, and he stood on principle. I'm not going to just shift because it makes him sound better. But he finally came to the
Yeah,
conclusion
because he didn't
that-
agree with what
that-
the party is now.
yeah, it's just gotten too weird. And so I thought my only alternative is Republican, so he did that. But it happened all over the state.
Right.
And so there's a lot of Republicans that used to have a D after their name. And there's just a lot of Republicans that see their role as we take what we can get. And that's what we ran into in the early 90s with Newt Gingrich
Right.
and his contract with America. The Democrats, the Republicans, far too long were the minority party.
And we
they
still
took what they could get.
act as
It was
if we
part
are.
of their job. You're a Republican. You're part of the minority. You gripe and complain and make fun of the Democrats, but you do what we tell you.
Well,
and
and let me
you're
ask
going to
you-
lose, and just get used to it.
Let me ask you this. Now, I know you're not for term limits because you believe there already are,
Right.
because of the Constitution, because we have an election every 2
Right.
years.
That's a term limit.
However, when someone becomes entrenched for 40 years, it's hard to get rid of that
Right.
philosophy.
I
that's
get
built
it. I really
into there.
do because so many of our Congress and Senate in our country nationally have been there for a long time.
Right.
Since the 70s, the 80s. There's
Right.
pictures of Nancy Pelosi hanging out with John F. Kennedy.
Right.
She wasn't an elected official then, but
No,
she was on her way.
like 16 or something.
Well,
That
18.
picture,
Hopefully,
yeah.
she was an
Well,
adult.
I think it was just at a.
Yeah, it was some event. She
Yeah.
wasn't like
Yeah.
partying with him or anything like that. But some of these people have been around forever, and so you have to wonder: is there something keeping them in power? Is there something keeping them in power besides getting votes? And I would say that would be counting the votes. Who counts the votes?
Right.
And if there's voter fraud, there's. I don't know what the solution is, except get people educated, get them organized and activated.
Here's what I truly think. I believe most people go in to be a representative or a senator with the best of intentions.
I don't.
I know you don't. But, I think that now, whether they're
I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
right. And so, but I think they get in there, and even the ones that we would agree with at the start get in there, and ultimate power it corrupts you.
Right.
Look,
if
I
you
can
will
get-
vote with me on this bill that means relatively nothing to your constituents, I'll vote with you on this other thing. And
but-
then it just escalates.
But on that, there has to be some of that. That's the way it's made.
Sure. There is compromise.
Because if you have your
They say politics is the art of compromise.
right, because you have your Rand Paul. Rand Paul has zero give, so nothing he's for ever gets passed.
Is that true?
That's the way it
I
feels.
know it was with Ron Paul.
Yeah, Rand Paul has a little more give than Ron Paul
Okay.
for sure. But
That was his dad.
So when you have to be willing to work with each other to a point. But then when you start compromising, well, I'll sell these stocks on the side.
Yeah.
because it's not necessarily illegal. It's just an moral ambiguity.
I think some of it is illegal,
Right.
Because
Well, not
they
for
get
Congress
advance
people.
notice. I'm going to vote to give this contractor a $10 jillion contract. But first, I'm going to buy stock in his organization.
Right. And then
Yeah.
you get your lobbyists start paying you, and then people start treating you a little different. And then that's addicting. We've all been in positions where it's like, oh, that felt good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then hopefully the Holy Spirit checks you before reality checks you.
Yeah.
And then you know enough to listen to it. So I think when people get there, like I said, I think I'll say most people start with good intentions. However, it's easy to be compromised once you've taken a little padding in the palm.
Yeah. Or I think for a lot of them, the padding comes, they help you get a bill passed, and so you start compromising, and the compromise grows. It grows to the point where this one over here, the constituents thought, well, okay. Giovanni Capriglione, that's a good example. He's the one that originally got the gold and silver depository bill in Texas started, making it legal tender eventually. But he's the one that did that. He started off, though, by voting for, I think it was Strauss back then. He voted for the bad guy to be Speaker of the Texas House. And by doing that, he got this guy now owes him a favor, let him bring his bills forward.
Right.
And it passed. And now we have a gold and silver depository in Texas, have an official one, and at least one other one that's not official but does the same thing.
Right.
So that's a compromise. And so if you looked at Giovanni Capriglione, which is kind of fun to say, if you look at him when he started the session, and I think this was like 8 or 10 years ago, when he started that session, he started off by just betraying us all. You could get your hair on fire, yeah. But the end result was he did something really, really beneficial. And I think it's going to have national and maybe even international repercussions by returning us to a gold and silver standard.
Yeah, because he had a plan.
He did, and so that compromise was effective.
Yeah.
And a lot of our elected officials, we've talked about this many times. Gary Van Deaver, I like the guy. I don't like how he votes. Brian Hughes, our state senator, I like the guy. I like most of the way he votes.
Right.
He doesn't have time, or possibly nor do I, for him to call me and say, "Hey, how should I vote on this?" And I might not know,
Right.
because he is paying attention. I mean, I've been down there when there's supposedly a break, and they're still working. They're still having meetings. They're still doing
Right.
things. They're learning what they're doing. I'm not denying that they work hard, but sometimes they just they don't vote the way we think they should.
Right.
And there's politicians from around the state that have been here at the Bowie County Patriots that have not voted like I would want them to.
Right.
And most of the time, I like to think they just didn't have all the information.
Yeah.
And anyway, we could do that one forever. That goes in big circles.
Yeah, it does. All right, we're going to move on. I think we get back to it in some other articles we've got coming, though. This is from Benowine, Benowine, Benowine on X.com. 85% of the world's refugees are Muslims. Not one of the 56 Muslim countries are taking in refugees. 11 of these countries are the richest in the world. Seems like something strange is afoot.
You know what? Just go back and say that whole thing again.
85% of the world's refugees are Muslims. Not one of the 56 Muslim countries are taking in refugees. So,
And that last part,
11 of those countries are the richest in the world. Your Saudi Arabias and your,
yeah.
whatever, UAE and...
Okay, so where were you going to go with that?
I was just throwing it out there, see
Okay.
where we see. Well, a lot of it has to do with, Texas is being taken over. You've got your Dearborn, Michigan. You've got...
Yeah.
and I've gotten some articles coming, and that's will be the trend that I told you that these articles will set up as... Or we can just go into them and we just have this as a fact and then go into the next articles and see what's coming next if you want. Because
Well, that one there, I've been saying this for a long time, or talking about this for a long time. Well, 3 years actually. As I'm a field coordinator for the John Birch Society,
Right.
And my territory is about 60,000 square miles of Texas and all of Louisiana, which is 65,000 square miles.
Right.
I was down in New Orleans Friday evening. I spoke at a group. I thought I was supposed to get up and talk for 2 or 3 minutes, and they were just going through introducing people, having them speak. And they said, "Now our featured speaker," and so I got to roll out the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't take that long. But one of the things I talk about is the John Birch Society was founded in 1958. It was founded in 1958, 6 days ago, in 1958, the 9th. And it was established to fight communism. It is kind of cool. We can see each other look across the table now.
Yeah. Just get used to it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was established to fight communism. And the next step is cameras over our shoulders.
Well, we were working on it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preferred listeners working on that.
Oh, cool. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So it was established to fight communism. Robert Welch got up in front of, he invited 13 fellow businessmen to Chicago. They showed up, and he spent 2 days explaining history of the world, compacted and relevant to what he was talking about. Talked about communism specifically. He had been writing about communism and speaking on communism for quite a while at this point,
Right.
since the end of World War II, I believe. He talked about that, and his goal was to start this organization, the John Birch Society, to fight communism.
Right.
Just a couple of years into it, after it was organized, more researchers, they realized the problem isn't communism; it's the people pulling the strings, and so for that, it's any type of one world government.
Right.
So if you want, if there was a group of Christians who wanted to take over the world, they'd probably be supported by these people.
Right.
We certainly have the Muslims that are trying to take over the world, the caliphate. They want to take over the world, and I push them under that umbrella of people that the people pulling the strings are pulling the strings, and all the socialists around the world, all the communists around the world, a lot of the workers' unions that really make things worse, all that. But I think that Islam is in that as well. I think radical Islam, and this supports it. So if the people that are really in charge of Islam, which aren't the crazy people, the mullahs and the shahs or whatever, if the people who are really in charge are the people in these, would you say 11 countries that are some of the richest in the world, they're the ones that are funding the others.
Well, here's my question.
So if they can certainly afford to bring in all these Muslim refugees and set them up with good living conditions and jobs and everything they need to be productive, and they don't, then they like it the way it is.
Well,
And so that's, to me, that's some evidence that radical Islam is part of a scheme to take over the world. It's a tool, just like socialism and communism is.
well, I agree with a bit of a caveat. Do you have a pen?
No.
Okay.
Do I need one?
I agree with a bit of a caveat. Preferred listener number 2 over there is looking for a pen.
The Crimson Grinch.
The Crimson Grinch. So here's my deal. I agree that the powers that be,
I'm looking for a pen.
the
Have you checked your
marionettes-
desk drawers?
I have.
Okay.
The marionettes of the world.
Wait. I have a pen for my iPad.
Oh. Cooch.
Look at this one.
There we go. American flag pin.
Right?
Do you want to be an American flag pin person?
You have
Crimson
to
Grinch?
twist it. What? The Crimson Grinch or American flag person?
Okay, so here's my thought. I believe that the marionettes of the world think they're using Islam for this purpose.
Okay.
Okay, I think that slides. However, I think Islam is allowing itself to be used to this because they know in the end they're not falling for it and want to take over the world, as has happened previously during the Muslim Crusades.
Right. And you might,
prior-
and you could be right. 'Cause-
So they're a willing they're a willing participant in the fact that, okay, yeah, you can move us around and you can let us, but
but if we get the chance, we're blowing you up.
yeah, we're taking over.
We're not just blowing
never
up
ceding
Israel.
power.
We're not just blowing up Israel. We're not just blowing up the United States. We're going to blow up the UN headquarters. We're going to
Right.
blow up the European Union headquarters.
Everything that doesn't
Yeah.
practice.
So it's a
Islam.
dangerous game that the people that mean to rule us, besides Islam, it's a dangerous game they're playing, because if these people get their hands on nuclear weapons and get them into the right hands, They're going to use them.
Or not even nuclear weapons. Look at the Christmas markets the parts of Europe are known for.
Right.
They're having to shut down and not have them now because of this migration that's going on. Where they're like, no, you can't do this. This aggravates us, or they'll drive cars through the market, or whatever, And so I've got some articles coming on that. Like,
Yeah.
we're already being punished for it. We can just kind of skip that because it doesn't really play. Here's this from General Mike Flynn on X.com. Rhinos, Republicans in name only, will never do the right thing. And this is what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
At real Donald Trump needs to stop kidding himself or read the tea leaves. Our nation is at grave risk. I think that just flows right into our conversation.
It does. And Flynn is a big supporter of Trump.
Yeah, I think he's saying, hey, what are we doing? Well, so then that goes to this. This is from Joshua Hall on X.com. Breaking. Senate Majority Leader John Thune is a top investor in Mitch McConnell, the turtle, his wife's Elaine Chapo, because she's, or no, not Chapo, Elaine Chao, because she's from China, family shipping business in communist China. They're Chinese millionaires. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
And also, Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law worked at one point for the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, the fact that his family is full of communists, and a lot of his wealth comes from the Communist Party, financing him and providing nice houses, things like that. There's no reason to think that he's influenced by the communist Chinese.
Right. Well, and now, yeah, I mean,
I was being sarcastic.
That's just a crazy thought. And then, so now you have John Thune, who is Mitch McConnell light, maybe. Yeah. He's made tens of millions of dollars off these same companies. So is he selling? And so Joshua Hall says he's selling us out to a foreign government for his own financial benefit. That's why he's balking all the Trump picks. Our own party is against us, and we do nothing about it.
Yeah.
You're Cornyn's and keep electing these guys as the party leader, and I don't understand why we can't just get some gumption about us and go for it.
Yeah, and there are, you got to wonder if I mean there's this thing about these red states and blue states. There's no such thing as blue states. There's blue cities,
areas,
or to be precise, blue counties, because a
Right.
county is what oversees the elections. You got to wonder how many of these people who have been elected they didn't actually have the votes.
Right.
Is that why Nancy Pelosi's been in for so long? Is that why Mitch McConnell's been in for so long? It can't be. Was it Kentucky? That's his state.
Yeah.
It can't be the people of Kentucky are paying that little attention that they won't. They don't want somebody else.
Right.
But then there's people. I mean, we've talked to multiple politicians. Dr. Pete Chambers is one of them, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Pete Chambers, and I'm trying that out, see how I like it. Dr. Pete Chambers is one thing, but literally Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Pete Chambers.
Yeah.
He was offered multiple really nice jobs.
Yes.
When he announced and
not.
said to just step down, and it happens on a regular basis. So how many of these people, they know it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be rough on them and their families to run for election. And somebody says, tell you what, we'll give you a job in this government agency and 10 years and you've got that salary for life. It's a really good job.
Right. Great benefits.
You still have some influence. How many people get pulled into that instead of saying, I don't care, I'll take the fight?
Because look at what's happened to Trump, right?
And we've heard this story from so many people. It's
Yeah.
just that Pete Chambers I heard it recently. I've heard him say it several times.
Yeah, and well, he came here to tell us in person.
Right.
But with Trump, when he was just a billionaire that funded Democrat campaigns, they made rap songs about him and put him in the Home Alone movie, and all the things. He was Mr. Popular.
Yeah. We all want to be like Trump.
Yeah, but now they've tried to bankrupt him, tried to kill him twice, tried to put him in prison. Tried to bankrupt his family.
Yeah.
All because they won't go
I think they tried to kill him more than twice.
that we know of twice.
Right. I mean, it's public, but there's stories.
Yeah.
Like somebody rams a car into the motorcade hard enough to die. Of course, those vehicles in the motorcade are tanks.
Yeah.
I mean, not physically, but I mean, they're really tough.
Right. Yeah, they are.
That person wasn't trying to
They
wasn't
weren't
trying to
stopping
commit
by to say
suicide.
hello.
Right. They weren't trying to commit suicide to make a political statement. They were hoping they would hit Trump's vehicle and they'd kill him.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So then we have this from the Conservative Brief on X.com.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. trade deficit just hit $52.8 billion. This is as of yesterday. Down 35% from last year. The lowest since June of 2020. Yet experts will say President Trump's tariffs are destroying America. So you got the rhinos working against us. You've got your John Thunes not wanting to play. And we're like, why won't you solidify it? Because if they work with him at all, everything he's saying, well, I don't know about everything. The majority of things he's saying are going to work. And they can't allow that to happen.
Right. And there's a difference, and I'm not talking about our local Chamber of Commerce. Nationally, the National Chamber of Commerce, which is a thing, is much more Wall Street than it is Main Street.
Right.
And they tend to push towards things that make investments work better.
Yeah.
Instead of what makes America great again.
Right.
And so the trade deficit, I've heard really smart people talk about both sides of that.
Right.
And I don't say that I don't understand it. I don't know which side to come down on. Is it good the trade deficit went down? I guess. What I would like to see is more manufacturing jobs, more. We can't have everything outsourced. I mean, back at the beginning of COVID, we found out that almost all the personal protective equipment, PPE, was manufactured in China. Well, what if they decided just not to ship it?
Right. Same with prescription medicines.
Right. Yeah, all that. So that's ridiculous. And we saw when Trump took office the first time in 2017, so many manufacturing jobs came back into the country. The Rust Belt was revitalized. It's called the Rust Belt because all these factories,
Rusted.
Yeah, they just shut down. And so all these businesses came back. And I said if it was deliberate that it came back, it was deliberate that they left. And there's a guy online that likes to argue with me. And he said, "There's no indication of that." And I go, "Well, it looked to me like on the face of it, it looks like that because there's no way to say currently, for instance, and I don't know if it's current, but it was current a year or so ago, that they would slaughter chickens, slaughter the chickens, ship them to China where they were processed, ship them back to the United States to be packaged and consumed or sold. So there's no way." That is less expensive than to do it on site.
Right.
There's no way that you can sell something for $3 a pound if the person that's selling it, the person that had the chickens to begin with, has got to make a profit.
Yep.
There's no way for that to work unless there's some tax benefits involved. And so that makes that's deliberate. If you set up tax benefits, it makes it easier or cheaper. Your company does better to take dead chickens, refrigerate them, send them to China to be processed, send them back. And so sending them to China means you're putting them on a boat. It takes a while.
Right.
So there's no way that that's actually more cost effective if you sell something for $2.50 a pound. So, I mean, if you're selling it for $15 a pound, maybe you can make sense out of that.
Right.
So it's those policies that they set up. That's, to me, that's more important than the literal trade deficit is how much manufacturing can we get back in this country?
And we're about to see some of that come back. We're already seeing some of it come back with the trillions of dollars of investments. We're about to see factories coming online and startups happening in 2026. There's talk of even you're going to see a $14,000 Toyota truck come back to life.
I've seen that, and it looks like a pretty useful little truck too.
You know, because I mean, there's no reason all these trucks cost $80,000,
Right.
$100,000 other than regulation,
Sure.
and red tape. And look, and I'm a capitalist. I'm for profit. However, if you let the market decide, a lot of this stuff will handle its own.
Yeah. I don't think everybody wants a $80,000 truck. I think there's people, if you said, I can get you a truck that's going to last you for 4, 5, 6, 7 years for $13,000
Let's go, baby.
for the job you use it for.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Does it have air conditioning? That's what we all know here in Texas.
Right, yeah. And I don't think that model does. The one that we're talking about. So
Well,
that-
$14,000 for Texas then.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to make that improvement. All right, Gunther Engelman on X.com. Going back to some other stuff we've already been talking about. Chilling wake-up call from Chicago. Muslim declares on video, and it's got the video of this guy. Islam did not come to coexist.
No, it's true.
Islam is always superior, and nothing is above Islam. It didn't come to live with other religions. Islam came to correct all that, to remove the oppression of those religions. It is the only way to justice. Then he goes, this isn't integration, this is a conquest ideology.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't say it like that, but that's from one of their own.
It's similar to our discussion.
Yeah, but once again, let's just believe people when they tell us who they are.
Right. If someone says, "I'm going to kill you," I think you should listen to them.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't.
And if someone says, "Okay, we're Muslims, but all we want is to live in peace among you," that's good and awesome. And maybe I'm sure I've known people like that.
Right.
When I lived in the Metroplex, we talked about this a couple of times. When I lived in the Metroplex, late '80s, I had several friends that were Muslim from Arab countries, and they were fun.
Right.
A couple of them just insane levels of hospitality.
Right.
I mean, I liked them. They were really good to hang out with.
Right.
But the places where people have been brought up as that is their religion, which isn't everywhere, they tend to get a little more radical about it. And when they say we just want to live among you in peace, maybe. But let's look at other places in the world where they've said the same thing and it didn't work out that way.
Well, even like this family over in the Netherlands, when was it, a couple weeks ago? They were from Syria, mom, dad, brother, brought daughter with them when she was young, so she grew up in Western culture. Mm-hmm. So daughter got to where she was not wearing a hijab, wearing makeup, not really practicing all the strict principles that they have. So they honor killed her.
And that's just a weird phrase, isn't it? We honor killed her.
Right.
They murdered her.
Yeah. So
For their version, their twisted, sick version of honor. I just watched a video about that where this guy said, should women work outside the home? No, they shouldn't.
Right.
Because they're not supposed to be out in public without a man with them. Well, what if your sister did that? You mean got a job outside the house, went outside and worked every day in the daytime? Yeah, I'd kill her. What do you mean you kill her? I'd shoot her.
Right.
Why? He goes, for honor.
but here's the thing
And people around him are like, yeah. It was insane that that's. I mean, you grow up with those thoughts. It's kind of hard to shake that, I would think.
but don't worry, conservative Republicans,
Well, we're the problem.
we're the problem.
Yeah.
When we're obviously against that. Back to the Brown shooting. Mass shooter at Brown targeted a classroom professor who taught Judaic studies. So we've got someone that's teaching, and the professor also taught abroad in Israel. That's from Laura Loomer. So the two people, it just wasn't coincidence.
So who was the shooter?
I don't know that we have the name. Some lefty. Why is the media protecting? I don't know. I think they've been. There are sources saying that they heard the shooter scream Allah Akbar, but I don't know that that's been verified.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's so many of those people that shout Allahu Akbar before they run over a crowd of children or shoot up a school or whatever, and then somebody goes, "We don't know why they did it."
yeah, lone wolf. Golly, it's just aggravating. Here's some good news. MAGA Voice on X.com. Breaking: Patriots and Bills players, these are the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills last night, stun America by coming together on the football field to pray after the game. We're in the middle of, I say the middle, but maybe not. But we're having another great awakening here in our country.
We are.
Hopefully we are at the forefront of it.
Yeah. People that I trust think it started 3-4 years ago.
Right.
2 or 3, I forget now.
And so that,
What year that
so
they
I
said.
hold that to be maybe the middle of how long it's going to last. I think we got another 2 or 3 years of it.
I don't know. There's people that have been studying this now. There's churches. There's one out in California in particular, because it's always there's a revival, and then the next generation holds that, and the next generation pulls back and goes, "Look what they did." And so what they're trying to do is make the revival just keep advancing.
Okay.
So that's
maybe
the
we're
plan.
at the
So there's
start
people that have studied that and like, what did we do wrong? 20 years ago, 40 years ago, and how do we change that now? So I really think that this might last
20 years.
indefinitely. I mean, there's revival cultures going on. Toronto? It's been going on for
Right.
20-something years.
What was the last big one? The Jesus movement?
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
That was in the 70s. Well, I don't know. That was one of them. Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah.
That's where our pastor got saved during that.
Right.
His wife was in the middle of it out in California. She knew all those people.
Right.
Or was around them a little bit because her dad was a preacher and that kind of stuff.
That's why people look at our church as weird still to this day.
It's
It's not weird, though.
It's not.
We
It's
just
cool.
love Jesus.
We do a lot, and I kind of hope that this time around that the revival continues. I mean that until when? Well, until the end, and maybe it will.
Which is getting, yeah, I mean, which
It,
is
it could be
close.
soon, but to me, the whole thing about there's nothing in the Bible that says Jesus comes back for a
Hey, don't
week.
hit that camera.
There's a weak and beat up church that Jesus comes back for.
Right.
There's nothing in the Bible that says that.
No.
It's people use that as an excuse. Well, I'm just going to stand back and let things fall apart because Jesus will come back
It's
sooner.
interesting that you say that.
Is
Let
it?
me go to an article. Hold on, I've got to switch gears.
I didn't
all
have
of
a
sudden.
destination with that, but
Well, I've got to switch gears, and I shared this article.
well, while you're looking, let me finish that thought.
Yeah.
The Bible says that something in Revelation talks about he who restrains is removed and things get really bad. And I think the church is usually referred to as the bride of Christ, but in this case, I think it's referring to the same thing, that the church restrains evil. Even if we do it so imperfectly and so wishy-washy most of the time,
Right.
The church, people of God, restrain evil.
Absolutely.
And so that's my thoughts behind a pre-trib rapture, is that makes it really obvious what's been going on all
Once the
along.
church is gone.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get saved and they realize, oh my gosh, I was wrong. Been nice if they'd done it sooner, but if the church is removed and things get really bad, and it's so obvious, and I mean, so many people think they can't pick a side. Well, I think it's going to be really easy to pick a side, and this is all from Scripture, and so that's why I think that it's possible this time that the revival,
Is
for lack of a better term,
pre-rapture.
will go forever.
Yeah.
That we'll keep this momentum.
That's interesting. So, it's funny that you reference this. So, this is from Align, ALIGN, Lifestyle by Blaze Media, okay? It was written yesterday by Chase Davis. It says, "Why the world hates strong men." But it's exactly what God... But it's exactly what God wants, saying strong men are what God wants. It says, "True danger isn't found in male strength, but in the epidemic of weak and passive men."
Yeah.
And then it goes on, and as you were talking about the church, and I'm not going to read the whole article because it's lengthy. It says something has gone wrong. After years of being told they are toxic and problematic, many men have simply cowed in deference to the spirit of our age. They embedded the poisonous slogans and succumbed to what the world has said about them.
Yeah.
Well, if the church is made to confront evil, which we know from Ephesians 6 it is,
Yeah.
if we are to put on the armor of Christ, if we are to carry the sword of truth, which is the word, which is the name of Jesus,
Sword of the Spirit.
yeah, sword of the Spirit, which is the truth, which is Jesus,
Jesus and everything he is.
yeah, then of course culture, if it's been holding it back, of course culture comes out and says, don't be a good husband, don't be a strong father, don't be a leader, and then culture is going to put every man in commercials going to look weak, stupid, or dumb.
Oh, we had that for years. That the mom was smart and patient. The kids were smart and looked down on dad, and dad was just a doofus.
Right.
We had that for a long time.
We're on the tail end of it now, but I mean, we still got it in a lot of shows.
We do,
So,
and it's
that
not God's plan.
No, and so that goes right into exactly what you're saying is we're supposed to be strong men. Now, does that mean that we don't ever make mistakes? No, I've made plenty of them. I'm sure you've made plenty of them.
Yeah.
However, we can say, God, 1 John 1:9, repent, confess your unrighteousness and be made righteous. It doesn't say go tell the priest at your church or go tell your preacher.
Right.
Tell God.
Yeah.
And so
I haven't done this well. I want to do better.
Yeah.
You tell that to the Lord, and He's going to start helping you.
That's
He's
exactly
wanted to all along, but now you want Him to.
right, and so I don't know. I just felt like that article played into exactly what you were saying.
I believe it does. I read that article too, and
Did I send it to you?
yeah,
Okay, I thought I did.
yeah.
Okay.
You rarely give me homework, so I went back and clicked on it.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to be a good man. It takes work.
No.
It takes standing against not just culture right now. And that depends on where you live, how you're brought up.
Right.
a lot of dads aren't real deliberate about teaching their son to be a good man.
Right.
And it's not the easiest thing. But if you have good examples of it, Secondhand Lions.
Oh,
This
great
kid
movie.
was going to grow up in a really dysfunctional home.
Right.
And he picked his uncles over his mom because his uncles were stable and his mom wasn't.
Right.
And his uncles, I don't know that his uncles taught him to fight. Literally, I mean, they'd fought with guns and swords.
Right.
I don't know if they taught him that. I don't know if they taught him how to fist fight. Oh, there's a really cool scene in the movie where Hub, what's the guy's name that played him? Go watch Secondhand Lions.
Yeah, I don't remember which one.
But yeah, Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
As a 65, 70-year-old man beats up 4 young punks because he knows how to fight. And there's no evidence in the movie that these guys taught the young guy how to fight.
Right.
The kid, they called him. But they told him so many stories about being a man that he absorbed it growing up. And at the end of the movie, you see him as an adult with two sons of his own, and you can tell that he's raising them that way.
You know, that brings up a real life video that I saw over the weekend. So there's this punk kids, and it's it's one of these weak boys, that you can tell probably raised by their mama, and
Kudos to all the moms that are raising sons out there. It's not
Yeah.
easy to raise a son.
I get it.
Yeah.
But a woman can't raise a man; she can only raise a boy.
I was thinking about that after the story,
Okay.
after that article.
Yeah.
And I think that having stories of good men, real men, manly men, however you want to say it. My mom always used to say she had a list of what she wanted. My dad fulfilled it. One of the things was she wanted a man's man.
Right.
And that's how my dad was. I should have asked her. Give me a what is a
exactly does
man?
this
What,
mean?
yeah, what do you mean? That would have been something good to live up to. But
Well, so in this, one of these boys is sitting at a table with girls or whatever, and they're in this restaurant, and something happens. I don't remember exactly what it is. Maybe you've seen it on the internet, and they start messing with this older man behind them, and then maybe they throw something on his table or something. Anyway, this guy, he's in between 80 and 90.
Oh, wow.
He just gets up and rocks this kid. Whop, whop, whop. Just starts drilling him in the face. I don't know if it's one or two solid licks.
Yeah.
And you can see the boys just like, and then some men come up, back the old man off, and then they're just kind of talking to this kid, and it's like, oh, you thought you were on the internet. This old man from a different generation, he ain't gonna take any crap. Whether you're talking about his wife, his daughter,
Yeah.
him, it's all different. And so you can tell this kid's kind of like, why would they do this? And then one of these other grown men, and this kid's probably 18 to 25. I can't tell the difference, right? At some point in my progression in life, I cannot age you if you're younger than about 30. I don't know what happened there, but that's just where I am. Anyway, one of these other grown men just open hand slaps that kid. Wow. Like, yeah, you deserve it. But that's so now, was all that needed? I think so, from the evidence in the video. But so many people have gotten away from that's okay. And I'm not just calling around to open hand slap everybody.
that's literally part of that scene in Secondhand Lions.
Yeah.
These guys are picking on this on Hub, and he turns to him and goes, "See, this is what I'm talking about. Here's a bunch of young punks that never been taught how to grow it, whatever."
Yeah.
And he whoops them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, I mean, it shows at some point. I think I've seen some deleted scenes, maybe.
Right.
But at the end of the movie, they show up at the funeral for the two old men, and they ask the kid, he's grown now, he doesn't recognize them, and so they turn their collars up like they were when they were
Right.
punks, and he's like, oh my gosh! But so the story is that they took him home with them and said, okay, here's where you've messed up, and so that was a teachable moment right there, and hopefully they did that and go, all right. Your face has got a little bruised. You might be bleeding, but you're going to be okay. But here's where you messed up. Here's what you did wrong. You thought this was what it meant to be a man, and that's wrong. It's completely wrong, and it's this.
Right.
And if that happened more often, the world would be better.
Well, I'm trying to look for it. I hope.
Man,
maybe
I
I'm
saw a
just
squirrel run by just then, or a rabbit.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the movie. I could have swore that it's a. Oh, maybe I'm just thinking of the movie.
Well, I'm sure there's been scenes of things like that happening.
But either way, it makes the point this is what we need. And so back to the article, and it's exhausting. Here's the thing, especially in the world of I don't know who I am fluidity.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting to be a man, but no man's ever going to complain
Especially
about
if you
that.
think you have to figure it out on your own every step of the way.
Right. Yeah.
Who do I listen to? Who are my role models?
Right. But Jesus,
Yeah.
step one.
Yeah.
You know, but and then that brings into the conversation the thought of, and I think I talked to Dale about this last week, maybe, the gentleman, right? So, what is a gentleman? You know, in certain stages in the past in Europe, to be called a gentleman could have been looked at as an insult. You were a fisherman or a warrior, or but this guy was just gentle,
Yeah, and that's not what it was supposed to mean.
right?
Some of them turned it into a thing where they became effete.
Yes.
They took on less than manly qualities. But a
Yes.
gentleman, what is gentleness? Gentleness is having the capability to break something, but you don't.
Right.
So when you're holding your child, how far could you throw Crimson Grinch here?
Crimson Grinch when she was little,
When she was first born, how far could you throw
could
her?
have tossed her.
A long ways. But did you want to?
No.
What
I
was your
wanted to protect her.
Right. So you were using your strength to protect, not to hurt. That's
Yeah.
gentleness.
Right.
And you can't be gentle if you're weak. You're just
That's exactly
Weak.
right. You're just
yeah.
weak.
You're
And you know, most men, whether they want to admit it or not, most men that I know have some violence about them.
yeah.
Now we put it away and we don't, but you need to have it for when it's needed.
You do. And I think from most people that we know, we go out of our way to avoid that. Not to run from it, but to find ways that it's not necessary.
You know, it's funny that you say that.
I mean, the cops, they carry a gun.
Right.
But they're taught to de-escalate. They're taught to resolve things. That's being gentle,
Right.
Because they don't always have to do that.
Well, it's funny that you say that because, you know, I joke around about, you know, a lot of times, especially younger women are just clueless, right? Just go throughout their way. And golly, talk about coming off as misogynistic. This is about to hit heavy. You know, I'll just go do whatever, and the world is my oyster.
Right. I'll be fine.
Because men have made such a world where they're safe. They can do that in our country. They're not having to worry about getting honor murdered or SA'd or whatever. And you know, I'm trying to moderate the sum for Crimson Grinch being in here, but
Crimson Grinch is a young lady.
yeah, Crimson Grinch is a young lady. And so
What was her name when I first came in? I named her Crimson Grinch. What did you call her?
I don't remember what was Crimson Grinch stuck.
What do you want to be? I mean, what does it say? What does it say on your shirt?
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
But anyway, so we've created a world where it's safe. And,
Yeah.
and good for us. I'm not against that.
Yeah, but you know what? I think sometimes people are overly. They think it's safer than it is,
Yes.
and they have that attitude. Well, look, I mean, the same thing about people that'll go out and try to pet a tiger. Well, I'm one with nature,
Yeah.
and the tiger understands.
no.
Or I'm going to go to this Muslim country. They know I mean them no harm. And women go to Muslim countries and never come back.
The Sally Field movie. We talked about that last time you were here, I think, didn't we?
Did we?
It's of the late 80s, early 90s. Sally Field's in some.
Yeah.
Based on.
Based
real
on true
life.
story, yeah.
Yeah.
And that happens. There's a couple that decide to take their honeymoon in some Raslam medical,
Razzle dazzle.
a Raslam medical country.
Right. Radical Muslim country.
No, from now on it's Raslam medical.
Okay.
Can I say it right? Radical Muslim country. And they go because they know that we mean them no harm.
Right.
They were both murdered.
Yeah.
And you can't. Ignorant and free was never been and never will be. One of our Patriot founders said that.
Okay.
But if people are ignorant and they think, oh no, it's okay. Well, it's not. You got to look at the world around you.
Yeah.
And we have failed at that in our country. We have, and I think it's been deliberate. It's not that we failed at it. It's deliberately we've taught them the wrong message.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. We got a few more articles if you've got time.
I got all the time in the world.
DC Drano, X.com. Muslim terrorist attack in DC killed one U.S. soldier and severely wounded another. A Muslim terrorist attack in Syria killed 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian interpreter. Likely Muslim attack at Brown University kills 2 students. A Muslim attack in Australia killed 11 people, all in the past 2 weeks, after President Trump declared the Muslim Brotherhood was a foreign terrorist organization. He goes on to say, I don't believe in consequences. I mean, not consequences, coincidences.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that phrase a lot. There's no coincidence. No coincidences.
This is from...
I mean, how many times have they said, quit calling us the religion of death and we'll stop killing you?
Right.
Or stop, that's their thing.
Or Charlie Hebdo,
Yeah.
right? I mean, same,
Allah says that to kill everyone who says we're not the religion of peace.
right. That's it.
And again, if you're Muslim and you're living around here and you're one of the good people, yay, thanks.
Yeah.
But there's no denying
Well,
the
part of
historical facts. And I'm not talking about 500, 600, 800 years ago. I'm talking about right now. There's no denying what's been going on, and that Islam is demanding assimilation until they have enough power to demand compliance.
Well, and that's part of the works of Islam is to claim victimhood until they can claim majority status.
Yeah, yeah.
And once again, look at Dearborn,
Don't you feel
Michigan.
sorry for us?
Yeah. Then, so James Woods on X.com, if somebody's not following James Woods, they should be. He's hilarious.
He is. I think someone said he should be running for governor of California. Have you seen that?
Oh, no, I wish he would.
Wood or Woods? Woods. Okay.
Woods. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You know?
A lot, probably.
Yeah, as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Wow.
As long as, this is from James Woods, as long as Republicans act like Congress is a gentleman's club, while Democrats act like it's a street gang, America is lost.
Yeah, and that's the gentleman's club that's more about being a fop or a dandy.
Yeah.
There's some nice words from
Yeah. And
bygone
old
days.
school English.
Yeah.
Anyway, what'd you find on that?
Oh, I didn't. I wanted to see if I could. Wait a minute. I'm not verified on Twitter anymore. I was.
Been too quiet. Okay, let's see. Border Patrol Commander tells me, this is Nick Sorter, tells Nick Sorter he would personally arrest Ilhan Omar following the outcome of Tom Homan's investigation, whether she was here illegally or not.
Wow.
Let's talk about the media go nuts. Let them arrest her. It's going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
Then, and this is from Amy Meek on X.com. Quote, this is our country, deport them all. Representative Andy Ogles delivers a congressional mic drop. This is Andy Ogles, representative from Tennessee. Just says, let's be clear, the United States of America is safer today because of President Trump. The United States of America is a dominant predator across all landscapes. And it says, since the 1965 HART Act, will you look that up? 1965 Hart-Celler Act, we've seen chain migration on a scale I don't think even the authors of that bill have imagined.
Yeah.
Anyway, just goes on to like, hey, this is what needs to happen to save our country. And then this one last article that I wanted to get to in this trend of where everything's going.
Let me throw this out real quick.
Do it.
Doc Pete Chambers.
Yeah?
Go look him up on Twitter
Okay.
because this is for the audience. He's running for governor of Texas, and we know you're there. Yeah. He's running for governor of Texas, and he is a really intelligent guy.
And he was great to listen to and get to meet.
He is. I saw him at an event in Longview, I think, last week before that, I guess, and he is thinking things through. His policies that he's looking at, or the issues he's looking at, the policies he's developing from that are top notch.
Yeah.
The guy is
I really like
sharp,
what he had to say.
but you can't get it all in one setting.
No, I bet you can't.
I've been around him. I don't know at this point, not that many times, 4 or 5 times,
Uh-huh.
and there's always something new that he talks about. If you look at it on Twitter,
I'll look
he
him up.
researches, and look it up. Doc Pete Chambers. Actually, let me see how he's described on Twitter. Maybe you can find it faster than me because I don't see the search. There it is. Wrong spot.
While you're looking him up, I'm going to read this. This is from Wall Street Mav on X.com. The UK has taken the top spot in the essay that starts with R per capita from Sweden.
What? What's R? What?
The type of essay that starts with R. I just don't want to say it because of Crimson Grinch.
Oh, okay.
Rhymes with capes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. The UK recorded 71,227 in 2024, 900% more than the 7,800 in 2000. This CAPE rate has reached 114 per 100,000 people. So in our town where we are, that'd be 114 of them a year.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It is, and you can literally get arrested there for saying there's one people group that's responsible for this.
Absolutely. Or if they caught wind of it and heard this podcast, we would be on a list to not be able to go there or get arrested.
Honestly, at this point, if you're not on a list, you're not a patriot.
All right, what you got on Doc Pete Chambers?
I'm just telling people where to find it. It is the handle is Doc Pete, the number 4 Texas, DOCPETE, the number 4
I think
Texas.
I follow him.
Yeah.
What do we have coming up at Patriots this week?
This week we've got Josh Davis, who is technically running for county judge. He's actually running unopposed.
I think I've got
That's
him.
going to be one of the least expensive campaigns in a long time for that position.
I've got him coming in here on Wednesday.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
See if you can trip him up, and we'll try to do it again on Thursday.
Yeah.
He's actually a pretty good guy.
Yeah, I've talked to him over the phone. We talked for probably 25 minutes. And then I was at an event a week or two ago, Christmas party season, and I'm in the publicity business with selling real estate and everything. And so I was there and probably talked to him for another 20 minutes. And just nothing the same was covered. And I think that's how it'll be in here. Like, learned a lot about the guy. And the more he talked, the more I liked him.
Yeah. He called me, and his number was in my phone. And we figured out that we'd talked to each other, like 12, 13, 14 years ago.
Okay.
About some stuff. And one of the things either he said it or somebody said it who's talked to him, every step along the way in his political career has been, I bet I can figure this out.
Right.
And he certainly did that as a county tax assessor collector. That's the person that collects the money for car tags, things like that.
Right.
And apparently it was in disarray. That's not the right word. It was in shambles.
Uh-huh.
The office was, I think somebody had resigned, and then there was an interim person, and it wasn't done well. And it took him, I forget how long he said, a while to get it straightened out. But now it's 100% compliant, and it was just messy and just anyway. So every step along the way, he said, I bet I can figure this out. And he gets the job, and he figures it out, and he makes it better than it was. So I see that as a real positive step for our county, and not a slam on the people before it, but
no, I think
what if it's better?
Good things. I think he's got good things.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
And he's going to be the speaker Thursday night. That is the
18th.
The 25th, we're not going to meet because that's Christmas. The next Thursday is January 1st, commonly referred to as New Year's Day. And we're not planning to meet then either, unless we can think of a really cool reason to. Let's see. January 8th, Rennie Mann. What would Rennie is his name, like it's short for something. What would it be? Renoir?
I don't know. Ronaldo?
Ronaldo, sure. Last name is Mann. Rennie Mann. He's got a plethora of N's. And he's running for U.S. Senate against Cornyn and Abbott, not Abbott.
Cornyn. Attorney General
Paxton. Yeah, Paxton.
There we go.
He's running against him.
Got a lot of good candidates in there.
Yeah, so someone you should get this guy. One of my political friends around the region or the state said, "Hey, you should call him," and they gave me his number and gave him mine, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, we got him. Don't have anything scheduled right now for the 15th or the 22nd. The 21st is a candidate forum that is going to happen at Church on the Rock. Just show up on Wednesday night like normal, and I'm not sure which candidate's going to be there. January 29th. January 29th is going to be cool. We're doing a recruiting push for Turning Point. Brian Chapman with Turning Point Faith USA is going to be here. Emily Bryce with Turning Point High Schools and Paige Rasmussen with Turning Point Colleges are all going to be here. In fact, we're doing something the night before at Church on the Rock. We'll announce that soon. But it's going to be something where we bring high school kids and college kids in, anybody who's interested in starting a chapter in their school, and introduce them to the people that are over that. And it could be Arkansas as well, obviously.
Right.
And so we're doing that on the 28th at Church on the Rock, probably at 5:30, just to guess. And then the following night at the Bowie County Patriots at Big Jake's Barbecue. There'll be a follow-up, and all three of those people will get to get up and speak if they want to. Brian does a lot of public speaking. I'm not sure about Emily or Paige. I've known Emily I think I've known Emily longer, for like 2 years or so,
right.
And Brian for almost that long.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had coffee with Emily a week ago, something like that. Very high-energy young lady.
Okay.
Very, very engaging. These are all good people.
Yeah,
and we don't have any chapters around here for Turning Point in colleges or high schools,
right?
Which is that's unusual. I'm not sure why.
I just think the getting it started, I think, is probably the hardest part.
Yeah, and I think we'll get that done. So that'll be good. If you come to the Bowie County Patriots this Thursday, I'm going to have some yard signs for Dr. Pete Chambers, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Pete Chambers. I'm going to have some yard signs for him. I've got 2 or 3 of the big 4x8 signs, and I think I've got some yard signs too.
You'll also have a couple of yard signs for Zach Ratliff for Precinct 11A.
Will I really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow, cool. Can I put one of those up at my house?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah? It's like 15 miles away from your precinct.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anybody who helps you put yard signs up?
Crimson Grinch will be my yard sign helper. Because that's your job.
Yeah, it's your job.
You help me with everything else.
Right?
Okay.
So?
Anyway, so
capitalism.
You'll have that, and then we've got that election coming up in March.
I'll contact people that have yard signs I'll try to do that and have those on hand for the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who else around has them. Last week we had Pat McCoy, the election administrator.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well.
Once again, it's been event season for me, so I hadn't been to Patriots in like 6 weeks.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow. He was there.
Thanks for noticing.
Well, I see you all the time at church and on your radio show. So anyway, Pat was there. What was that? Wah, wah. He's got a new soundboard. He promises to use it for good and not evil.
Yeah.
With great power.
So Pat
McCoy was there. And I don't know if he saw. He probably didn't see it. He's got too much to do to play on social media. But there was somebody going, "Why does he go to a Republican meeting? He's supposed to be impartial." And one, we're not Republican. We're constitutional conservatives with Christian values.
Right.
Mostly Republicans line up with that.
Yeah.
But a lot of Democrats do too. We're nonpartisan.
Right.
But he did show up, and he actually stayed. He was in there for a little bit. I was talking to him, and then he actually left the room for the preliminaries. He has nothing. He has nothing against the pledge and the pledge to the Texas and American flag and praying and all that stuff. But we did talk about a couple of political issues, some upcoming guests that we're going to have, things like that. Some people had left some yard signs in there for somebody. We put those back in the corner out of the way, so they're not obvious.
He was aware enough to not put
He
himself
was,
in a compromised
and so we ran through the preliminaries pretty quick, and then went and got him and brought him back in, and because he is nonpartisan, his job is to run the elections, and that's it. And a lot of things he talked about. But he talked about the different types of election equipment and software we've had since he's been in office, which I think he said 6.5 years. He talked about those different types of equipment. He talks about the standards that they're held to. And then he talked about how if there's a problem, how to resolve it right there at counting.
Right.
And for instance, I think the state allows if the precinct brings in 100 votes or 100 ballots, but there's only 97 that have been counted, or 103, that's good enough. That's what the state says.
Okay.
He, since he took office, has kept it at 0. There are 0 issues. There's 0 errors. Every time he's done it, right there on the spot, they figured it out. They've addressed it. He says sometimes it requires a little bit of counseling, and that person doesn't get to be election judge anymore.
Right.
But they have figured it out and straightened it out so that the count that they have is as accurate as anybody can see.
Good.
Can make it. So I think that is a pretty substantial record. I called him the next day and told him I was impressed with the presentation and that in particular, because it's a big deal. And he talked about how the hand-counted paper ballots is actually a step backwards as far as technology goes, but it's a step forward in election integrity or trusting the elections.
Right.
And it is so much easier. If everybody could just log on their phone and click, this is the guy I want to vote for, it would be really fast and really easy. But that's not the goal. The goal is accuracy, integrity, and making sure there's no errors. And going backward that way just a little bit, we talked about Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, who's the county chair for Dallas County, and they're doing hand-counted paper ballots. And they did it in a little small town out in West Texas, and apparently it took quite a while to get the results. In the old days, we got the results that night because we had a team that knew how to do the hand-counted paper ballots. And so we'll see what happens with Dallas. That's going to be really fascinating. If you live in Dallas County, you can volunteer, and that's not the right word because they pay you $15 an hour.
Right.
And then you work 4-hour shifts to be one of the people, and there's several roles involved in that.
Right.
Others, like me and you, could drive down there and just stand back and watch. And I think it's probably 10, 15 feet away. Just, watch them do it. Just see if a fist fight breaks out or whatever. It's going to be intensive. And the last time I heard anything, they were really trying to get as many volunteers as possible. I'm not sure there's going to be a limit to how many volunteers.
Well, Dallas County is going to be the canary in the coal mine. Let's see how it. Let's
we asked him about that, and I don't envy him. And the way this works is the party gets to determine how the primary is done.
Right.
Now, if the party doesn't step up, and there's some counties that don't have much of a Democrat party or much of a Republican party, then the county election administrator just does it.
Right.
And I don't think he's heard from the Democrat party in Bowie County yet. But again, it's a pretty small party right now. It's a lot of work.
Well, that's good. And, county elections are going to be big here. We've got some big races going on with their DA race.
District attorney race, county chair
race. I've had both candidates for DA on the show multiple times. I think I know at least Jerry's been on at least twice. I think Kelly has, but I'm not sure. And then Dale Holes is running for county chair against Gary.
Gary Singleton.
And have reached out to Lisa and told her I'd love for Gary to come say his piece. Then I'm running for precinct chair. Adam's running for precinct chair. I think he's unopposed.
He's unopposed, yeah. If you're a party official, you won't be on the ballot if you're unopposed. Because it's a party function.
Right.
If you're like Josh Davis will be on the ballot but unopposed.
Right.
Because that's a county-wide position.
Right.
So anybody that runs at that level or higher, they will be on the ballot even if they're unopposed.
Okay. Well, all right, Steve, let's get out of here.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Steve,
but hey, we got to look at the camera.
Thank you, Crimson Grinch, for being awesome. And
she really is awesome.
She is awesome. And I hope God blesses each and every one of you. And we'll be back and do it again tomorrow.